watching Your High School Sports.
Welcome to Your High School Sports Special Edition. We're talking about gold balls that were won in Cookeville this past weekend at the TSSAA State Championships. Before we go Tennessee, let's talk Southwest Virginia.
Yes, sir. So in the Commonwealth this week, we are also talking about state titles. Only one team from the Southwest Virginia area making it to Salem Stadium close to Roanoke for that final. That would be Galax taking the win over Patrick Henry in the Class 1 semifinals, 41-16. Galax looking for its first title since 2015. And then the Class 2 semis, Appomattox taking down Graham, the defending state champion G-Men, losing 28-13. Appomattox with 3 straight titles before losing last season, and then Graham going on to win the state title last season. So Appomattox looking for its 4th title in 5 years, guys. And then also Richland's punter, big shout out to Levi Forrest for the Blue Tornado, the punter and kicker, making a verbal commitment to Penn State this past week. The Nittany Lions going to face Memphis, of course, in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas later on in December. So I'm sure Levi will be paying attention to that. And big congratulations to him from the Your High School Sports team. Congratulations to all the teams in the Virginia area that have made it this far.
All right. You've heard of Southwest Virginia. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get on the side of TSSAA State Championships. Jake was there on Thursday. We'll kick things off with him when we come right back here on Your High School Sports. And we are powered by who?
Krispy Kreme donuts.
All right.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
It may be hot outside, but I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more. Right here at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greenville. I'll tell you what, you want savings? I've got them. Save up to $10,000 on a brand new 2019 Buick Encore. That's right, up to $10,000. You can go to other dealers. They're going to say, well, no, they can't do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Come down here and try me. You're going to save up to $10,000 right here at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greenville. Where, as always, you know it, I'm going to save you money.
Hey, Jake Nichols here for Your High School Sports. A fantastic start to the weekend slate this afternoon as the Division II matchups took place here at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville. So first up, Davidson Academy 31-21 over USJ for the Bears title.
Griffin, MVP today, 4 touchdowns. How would you rate your performance?
Pretty good. Better than I would have expected.
Up next, Evangelical Christian 17-14 in a nail-biter, a controversial catch at the end to propel the Eagles 17-14 again over Christ Presbyterian Academy. And then lastly, McCallie with a statement win over Montgomery Bell Academy. Big J Hardy, the Auburn commit, having several tackles in that. And then D'Angelo Hardy, the Blue Tornadoes quarterback, making a big impact, being named MVP.
Man, I talked to you 2 weeks ago after that Innsworth win. You talked about how much that meant. How much more does this mean?
This means everything, man. This is the goal, man. And you don't know how this feels until you're actually in the moment, man. And I just want to go celebrate with my team, man. I'm excited.
I noticed Jay dancing a little bit. You about to go do some of yourself?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, Jake. Great job you did down there in Cookeville on Thursday.
Thank you.
A lot of great football played on Thursday. Yep. And let's talk Friday. Friday just really kicked things off. You got down there really a lot of good games. Kicked things off with Greenback. Let's talk about Friday.
Greenback. Oh, Greenback was a team that I thought was, that was
my fifth goal ball.
That was one of my picks. Coach Ryan, he had his team. I believe he had them ready. They looked sharp there at the beginning. They took a lead there early. But in the second half, let me tell you what, there was a bruiser quarterback by the name of
Tanner Snyder.
And Tanner Snyder was no joke. This guy had almost 400 yards combined and actually put the ice on the cake with, guess what, an interception, 33-yard interception for a touchdown. Of course, gives him the MVP. And this is what Coach Puckett from Lake County had to say.
First state title since 1985. What's going through your mind?
It's just unbelievable. It's
real-life underdog story. I mean, we're a small school, 205 students in school, most northwestern school and county in the state. I mean, it's just everything that underdog stories are written, that's us. And I'm so unbelievably proud of those kids and the hard work they've put in. Over the 7 years that I've been here, they've been with me working out in middle school and everything. It's taken 7 years to get here. This isn't a one-year deal.
And then, lastly, what can you say about your Jordans? I like those.
Hey, gotta stay fresh, man.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right, Chris, sounds like Coach had things going. If you missed it, you need to go to Your High School Sports Facebook account and see what Jake talked about Coach's Jordans he had on his feet.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of great things.
What he said, I got to keep it fresh.
He said he was staying. And he was. I mean, hey, you have to, when you've got the first state title since '85 on the line, you got to look fresh.
No doubt.
Well, shout out to Lake County for winning that first game, 1A. Let's talk about the second game.
Yeah, man, that second game was a doozy as well. Alcoa getting it done over Pearl Cone, the Tornadoes, and it was really never in question, really. Alcoa coming out getting that first stop was really big because all week Gray Carroll and that Alcoa defense had heard about, you know, the firepower that Pearl Cone was bringing on their offense, and so going out and getting that first stop and seeing that speed firsthand, shutting it down, was huge for the Tornadoes. And then, as you can see right here, Sam Valton racing in for the first score for Alcoa, and then rolling all the way to a 5th straight state title, 18th in program history. And we got to catch up with Coach Rankin and a couple players after the game.
But does the feeling ever change from the first one to this one?
No, man, no, sir. It's like your wife. The feeling never changes. Gets better every year. Doesn't change. I mean, it's new kids, new opportunity. I'm still hungry. I enjoy playing. I enjoy competing. It's not just a championship. It's competing, getting ready for games. And I have a great situation, great coaches. So hope I can do it a little while longer.
Yeah, Coach Rankin, you know, if you're not getting the job done, he's just going to take you out. That's the bottom line of it. And I get in there. I try to do the best as I can. And this is the outcome of the game every game.
Whenever you say shutout in a state championship, what's that mean to you?
I mean, you know, that's an every game thing. You know, our big goal every game is to just produce shutouts. And, you know, that means if we do this, you know, if we execute and get a shutout, that means we've done everything right.
We're a tradition here at Alcoa. We expect to be here every year, and when we get here, we expect to win. And that's not going to change next year and the years after I'm gone.
Oh, Coach Rankin is just, you know, he's all about it. You know, we've had him on our show pretty much all season long, and they just take care of business.
They do.
Oh, that's what
Alcoa just goes and takes care of business. And I'm gonna say something what you said. You both agreed on something. We'll talk later about that. But you know, then the third game, another Knoxville team, Knoxville Central. You know, hey.
Oh, Knoxville Central, man. They came out, the Bobcats, man, they wanted to come back to show that, hey, we're the real deal. We wanted to get that second goal ball. Coach Roger once again had his team ready, but he was very dependent on one guy. You know who that guy was, the quarterback.
Yes, sir, Dakota Favre.
What was the nickname we wanted? Can we share that nickname that you gave him?
I don't know if it was a nickname. It was just talking about a movie that we both liked. So Dakota, if you'll notice in the interview that we have right here, Dakota has a nice little mullet going. And he's had that going since about the summer from when I talked to him in their semifinal game. And he said, of course, with the mojo, you got to keep it going for the state title. So I asked him after the game, we're walking back toward the media availability area after they won, the celebrations died down. I said, you know, Dakota, you've had that mullet for a while now. How long are you going to keep it going since y'all won? And he's like, oh, probably not too long. I don't want to look like Joe Dirt. And so, you know, I have seen Joe Dirt, but it's a little old even for my time, so I'm a little shell-shocked that he even knew about it. So, Dakota, shout out to your taste in movies, and man, for getting another state title for Central. Congratulations.
One thing I do want to point out before we go to Coach's soundbite is Dakota had a nice touchdown pass to Osborne, but I call this one the play of the game, but also the hit of the game. As you can see, boom! Ooh.
Yep.
that had to hurt. Yeah.
Whenever I tweeted that on our Twitter account, and I said, you know, man, as much fun as it's got to be to win a state title, even with a helmet on, he's going to feel that.
Oh, yeah. Anybody trying to get him saying, I'm okay. Yeah. Everybody kind of paused and it was silent for a second. And he got it. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Like you said, I'm sure he's feeling that.
What did Coach Roger have to say, guys?
Well, right here.
Like I said before, not really sure anybody expected us to be here, except us. We knew what was ahead of us. We knew the challenges that were there. And our kids just decided, hey, it wasn't going to go that way. We're going to get back and show people that we're not just a good team, we're a solid program, and that you need to finally respect us, especially after this accomplishment. And I just couldn't be proud of the guys and everything they did. They completely bought into everything that we teach them on and off the field. Obviously, you see what the product is. And it's definitely more than just wins and losses, but this is the sweetest thing ever.
How are you going to remember him as a coach?
I mean, he's like a father figure. He's something special. I spend a lot of time with him. Year round. Football's year round now. I spend a lot of time with him. Our bond's something special. We're always talking about ways to get better, talking about ways to help our team succeed better. It's awesome. It's a bond. I'm always going to keep contact with him.
All right. Coach is just coach.
Yep, and what's really great about the Central team, I talked about it, on our Twitter account, and then just talking to the guys. Chris, and you noticed it too, they have such a special relationship on that team. Just love all around. Talking to Rozer about Dakota Farver, and then talking to Dakota about his coach. Just the relationship that they have and the love that they share, you can tell it's really something that goes beyond normal high school football.
And with that, I want to segue back to you, if you can remember a few years ago when Coach Rozer came to the program.
Yes.
Remember, he had a game plan for him.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember that, but he had a game plan on how he was going to transition his team to make them a state championship team, which has come to fruition.
It sure has. One thing he said to us, he says, there was things you had to do to be on his team, and it was you had to be, the discipline had to come first, and then you had classwork had to come, and I think that he's brought that program to where he wanted it to be. Now let's see what happens.
Yes.
All right, day one is over, or day two is over. We're going to talk about Saturday, the big games, Elizabethton. We're going to talk about that when we come back here on Your High School Sports. We are powered by Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge and on Highway 66 right here in Sevierville. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more of Your High School Sports.
I need your trade. I need your trade. I need your trade. I'll tell you what, look at my lot. It's getting empty. That's because we've been selling a ton of vehicles. Make the short trip to Baca Bernard. I need your trade. That means I'm going to put some dinero, some cash, lots of money in it. I'll tell you what, with your trade being worth what it is and the extra trade-in rebates, you can save up to $7,500 on a brand new 19 Cadillac XT5. Make the short trip to Baca Bernard, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, right here in Greenville, where as always, I'm going to save you money.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme Donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
You are watching Your High School Sports, the source for football in the Southeast. Powered by Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge and on Highway 66 in Sevierville. Here is your host, Roddy Woods, along with co-host Chris Blevins, Chris Reddick, and Jake Nichols.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, along with Jake Nichols and Chris Reddick. I tell you what, guys, if day 3 was as good as 1 and 2. Let's talk game 1 to a state championship.
Yes, sir. Game 1. Peabody looking for their second straight state title in Class 2A, third since 2014. And buddy, they got it, but it was a fight. Meigs County goes up 16-7 at halftime. Peabody on the board first, but then here come the Tigers putting on a show. Went for 2 twice on those conversions and made it so they go up 16-7 during halftime. You can see, just how pumped up they are. Going into the break, Logan Carroll, one of the players for Meigs County, turned to me as he's going into the tunnel. This is our house. But guys, coming out in that second half, it was all Golden Tide. So Peabody able to get it done for that second title. Big shout out to Cooper Bogus, Peabody's first ever MVP, or not MVP, but Mr. Football for Class 2A. And then the MVP, Army commit Jarrell Dixon, had a bruising game at running back. And guys, the biggest thing, he's going to see somebody from across the field again. Jarrell's going to Army, but then Meigs County quarterback who he faced in the championship, Aaron Swafford, he's going to Navy. So he's going to see him again in next year's Army-Navy game. But after that game, I got to catch up with Jarrell a little bit. I think I've mentioned it before on the show, but I'm actually from West Tennessee, about 20 miles south of Trenton, where their high school is in Jackson. But now that my family has a house about 5 miles from Peabody High School, so got to share a little bit of a personal moment with Jarrell after that game. So seeing a couple people that I know from that community and seeing just the smiles on their faces and the support that they give that team was really, really special. And you can hear that from Jarrell right here. How did you focus in coming into today?
Well, we were young. We've been playing since our sophomore year. So after winning that state championship, we just knew what it takes. We knew how to grind. We knew we had younger guys coming up, and we just had to take leadership, and that's what we did. So there wasn't much pressure, and we're back here. We're back to back.
Sounds like a very special kid.
Yes, sir.
Very special kid. Let's talk second game.
This was the big one.
Yep.
Let me tell you what about the second game. I tried to tell. I said, Jake, watch what's going to happen at this Elizabeth game. Watch what's going to happen. And it started right off the bat.
That did.
You know, there's a certain amount of time you get in between preparing for each game.
There's about an hour, yeah.
Yeah, and I look up, and while I said, Jake, I'm going to go out here and just catch some of the warm-ups. So I was focused on the warm-ups. And I looked up, and the crowd was already there, full, ready to go. So it's game time. It's like they were coming to the UT game. So, hey, much props and much great thanks to Elizabethton and the community for coming out supporting this team to be able to see this historic moment. They were not disappointed. Let me tell you what, right off the bat, I knew we had this game in control. We start off with Holly. And Holly, he's no joke at kicking the ball. He kicks it, makes it 3 points. And then we follow that up with, one of the bruising running backs said we got Mr. Cade Martin. You mentioned his name a lot.
We have.
Takes it in for a touchdown. And of course, you got to follow that up. The guy we always talk about, Parker Hughes.
In the news.
The man always in the news. But guess what? He makes a fantastic catch. But he was out.
He was so close in the end zone on that too. Got pushed out at the 1, but man.
And with the excitement Jake's put it on, I was excited, and I was so excited. Parker Hughes, the man always in the news. I had to mention him to make sure he was in the news. But anyway, Bryson Rollins, the quarterback, this guy had a phenomenal game.
He did.
A lot of people referred to him as Russell Wilson there. I mean, he just had total control of the team, but had all the moves and escapability there. Quarterback making the big plays that he needed to make. As you can see, a nice pass to not Parker Hughes, but another guy to talk about, Zach Hartley, right there in the other corner of the end zone. Beautiful catch. And of course, Bryson Rollins had to get one for himself as well. And then, to top it off, you had Cade Martin finish the night off with another touchdown. Now, in between that, Springfield did get a nice long pass for a 66-yard pass, which set them up for another touchdown, which was their only touchdown. But to go back to Cade Martin, he made sure he didn't just get it done with the 2 touchdowns on offense. He said, I've got to make sure that we solidify a win. Yep. So he had 2 interceptions on defense. Yep. But the player of the game and the MVP of the game is Mr. Bryson Rollins, who, guess what, broke not a school record, a state championship record, which, guess what, he would have went 12 for 12 because Parker Hughes did catch that pass, but he was out, but he went 11 for 12, so it had the highest percentage.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Over a 91 passing percentage for that game.
For that game.
Highest in state championship.
Ever in the state.
And speaking of Bryson Rollins, let's go to him right now.
Had an amazing game. Actually, the whole team, I would like to call them all MVP, starting from the defense to the offensive line, all the way to the backs, and of course your performance. Outstanding night, record-breaking performance for you. Talk about your night.
Yeah, I give all the credit to my linemen. Couldn't be here without them. They're only juniors and sophomores, dude. You can't believe that. And I'm just glad to have them next year, and we're just going to keep working hard, and hopefully we'll be back here next year.
How special was that for not just the team but the community?
I mean, it's so special. I mean, when we were leaving, there was hundreds of people sending us off. I mean, just this whole community just has been so supportive this whole way. 15-0, it's just been such a fun year, and I mean, just bring this back to Elizabeth is just so special. Just my family. I'm so happy for everybody around here.
Coach, player Bryson just speaks volumes about what they did. It was a great game. Catch another interview with Sean coming up this week. I had a chance to catch up with him. Wanted to let it die down a little bit, before, you got a great interview with him.
Yesterday they had a big, another little parade there.
Yes.
And I just want to show you just a couple of clips there of just what the city looked like with some of the pictures and the congratulations and the thank yous and the good lucks and all that. But anyway, phenomenal win, historic win. Haven't won a championship since 1938. So
yeah.
So Jake.
So I was going to say another thing on that I noticed that seemed really special to me that really made a difference on the TSSAA employees that were there too was that cyclone walk before the game, because no other team, she said, in the 11 years that one lady has been there helping to host the state championship game, have they ever gone out and crowded the streets like they did for that cyclone walk before the game. Because see, where they get dressed at Tucker Stadium, they have to walk across the street to the stadium from their locker room. So crowding in for that cyclone walk, and then obviously with coming out of the tunnel, really special to see Coach Witten walking out. I noticed this with his kids, holding their hands, leading them out. So just all the nostalgia in the world in that moment for the Elizabethton community. So big shout out to you guys.
Oh yeah. Very, very, like I say, thanks to the coach for doing a wonderful job with the kids. One thing he said about the kids is that they believed in the process.
That's what
the process finally paid off. It took 13 years, but Coach stayed with it. The kids stayed believing in it. And a big shout out to Coach Witten's older brother, Ryan Witten.
Yes.
Now, Coach Ryan Witten, I just want to brag on him just a little bit. He coaches my son's junior high school. And Coach Ryan Witten, guess what? He's feeding these players up to him. And Coach Ryan Witten, a lot of those players, they haven't lost but like one game. In the last 4 years, they've lost like one, maybe 2 games. My son went through the program with 1 loss, and I think with Bryson Rollins' class, they have 1 loss. So, in like the last 4 years, Coach
That's
Ryan
why you
Witten,
say it's for. That's why you say it for. That's why you say it for.
We'll talk about that.
It's secret weapon. Secret weapon. That's Sean's secret weapon. All right, let's wrap up with Maryville rolling over Ravenwood.
Well, guys, leading into this game, walking down the sideline, there's like 5 minutes ticking down until the game's about to start, and it had a good beginning. Phil Collins, that In the Air Tonight, coming over the loudspeakers, and of course the crowds from both sides. Ravenwood obviously trying to make themselves a little too dangerous for Maryville. Their student section chanting overrated at the Rebels. And buddy, it came back to bite them. Because I'm telling you, even with that Ravenwood roster, with Reggie Grimes, the Oklahoma commit, with so many other big players on that roster, Maryville just able to do their thing and get it done. They start off with a couple big touchdowns and just roll on to another state title. And Ravenwood actually pulled within 21 late. That tells you how big Maryville had gotten up. A couple big touchdowns from T. Hodge. I believe he had over 100 yards rushing in that game. And then another one, obviously, Cade Chambers breaking out in the wide open on that one score. So Maryville just able to get it done all the way. And, big shout out to those guys. Just talking to Cade after the game, I know that we were both able to see it, but the hugs on that sideline, Cade Chambers, who was named MVP, just in tears at the end of that game because it was so emotional. And, one thing that I heard several times throughout the night is right before the game ended, Cade Chambers, the senior quarterback for Maryville, Braden Carnes, who quarterbacked Greenback this year, transferred out of Maryville last year, leaving Cade as the sole starter. So Cade goes in before that last snap of the state championship. Everybody is on the sideline in tears, so happy because they've now got the second most state title wins next to Alcoa in Tennessee history. But Cade goes up to Derek Hunt and says, "Coach, we've got one more play. Can I go back in to get one more taste before it's all over?" And so he goes back in, and Cade admitted after the game he was getting choked up even as he knelt under center, saying down set, almost couldn't even get out the word hut before he took the snap, knelt it down, and Maryville went on with its 17th state title. So a lot of emotion there for them, and you can hear from Cade Chambers and Coach Hunt right here.
Just a phenomenal job. It truly was a collective effort tonight. It was a collective effort all season. Our staff was awesome all year long, and we believed in these kids. And not everything was perfect. It wasn't always perfect. It was tough, and when you're playing when you're out here on December 7th, that's a long season. And so, you have days where kids are tired of being out there for practice, and I get that too. But they just did a phenomenal job tonight. They were ready to go.
What a special group that Maryville group. And I told you I talked to Coach Hunt before a couple of weeks ago when they went to Dobbins Bennett, and he said we travel well.
They do.
We travel well. They like to go on the road. And it looks like, just like Elizabeth, they do travel well. And that's a big thing for high school. If I can look up in the stands and I can see 4,000 or 5,000 of my fans.
And
it's like you were talking about Ravenwood overrated. They're not overrated.
No.
Maryville's not overrated.
No.
And we said something I had a chance to talk to Coach before they went down. I said, is this the old, or are you playing the old Maryville way? And we talked about that on the show. They are. They're back to Maryville football.
And here's what's scary. It's not like they really fell off the tree.
No.
I mean,
But they're back to
scary.
it. That's the back. Let me ask you both a quick question. What was your favorite game?
Man, put me on the spot. I would have to say probably either the CPA ECS game, because it was so controversial near the end, coming down with that catch near the end that ended up putting the Eagles on the goal line for the go-ahead score, or probably the Central game and the Maryville game both as tied for number 2, because in both of those, after that game, it really spoke to me to just the relationships that run just so deep in high school football.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? I know the one game.
Does he even have to ask me?
Look, there had to be another one. I know it had to be another game.
Actually, I didn't mention that one, but I didn't also want to steal his thunder.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And you know, the reason why I do have to point that out, even though the score, they kind of took care of business the entire game. But like I said, you got to understand how special the moment was. A lot of schools we're talking about, Alcoa has been there, done that.
Yes.
Actually, give a little shout out to Alcoa after they get their championship. I mean, they just show that they're a team of excellence. I missed the Maryville celebration, but Alcoa, I mean, it's like, we've been there, done that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did it with class. Besides Cam Burton, though, special moment for him because he got the MVP. So great shout out to him. Let's slide it back onto my game. Of course, this was a special moment, not just for Elizabeth, but a special moment for me. Like I said, we haven't won a championship since 1938. Now, here's what that says. I actually was talking to one of the former Cyclones before the game. I said, do you know, with it being that long, is anybody even alive from that championship team that could even witness this moment? So that's why you had over 6,000 people, because this was a historic moment for them.
It was.
So it didn't matter if it was they won by 1 by 100. This was going to be my game of the night. Now, it wouldn't have been if they lost. It was a terrible moment getting that silver ball and that slow walk. But speaking of that, I'm going to bring this back one more time. I got to have a little fun with my Cyclones. They kind of jump-started getting the trophy.
They did, and we talked about that a little bit.
They had to kind of push it back. But Coach, this is what Coach had to say about that.
What'd you think about your team kind of jump-starting the gun?
Yeah, we sprint to get it. That's what we do, So
get out there.
Yeah, we didn't want to waste no time. Proud of our 11 seniors. Proud of our football team, our coaches. Proud of my family, supporting us. And, there's that gold ball is coming back to E-Town. So all of our community and our school, y'all be ready.
All right, guys. When we come back here on Your High School Sports, we're going to wrap up the 2019 season, and we're going to talk about 2020. A lot of new things coming up for 2020. So stay right here on Your High School Sports. We're coming right back.
Stay tuned for more of Your High School Sports.
I'll tell you what, at Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greenville, we've got the savings. You want them? Like I said, we've got them. How about saving up to $12,000? That's right, saving up to $12,000 on a brand new 2019 Chevrolet Crew Cab Silverado with the All-Star Package. Make the short trip to Bachman Bernard Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac right here in Greenville, where as always, you know it, I'm going to save you money.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. Jake wants to wrap up something, and I definitely want to hear what you have to say about the kid from Alcoa.
Yeah, so after Alcoa's win, we talked about just kind of the basic stats and who scored and all that, but Cam Burton came alive for that Alcoa defense at the outside linebacker spot. But that may be a familiar name to a lot of people here in Sevier County. So Sevier County High School, just a couple miles down the road from where we film here in Sevierville. Cam was a freshman quarterback there. I got to watch him play a couple years ago there under Tony Lingenfelter. He was rail thin, but very athletic. You already kind of see the potential coming. So his sophomore year at Alcoa, he gets hurt. Or, excuse me, at Sevier County, he gets hurt, comes back from an injury, still not quite the same. After that, transfers this past summer to Alcoa, and going in, he said that he knew Sam Valton was the quarterback. He was the guy. So he would have to make some other room on the roster, and Gary Rankin would have to find another place for him. But he's so athletic that you have to be able to find a spot for him, too.
Definitely find one.
So he goes in, and Rankin puts him at safety. And so he shines at safety, does pretty well through the first half of the season. But then, guys, when they lost a guy at outside linebacker, and Alcoa's defensive coordinator, Brian Nix, spoke to this too, about how unselfish Cam Burden is. That when they lost somebody at outside linebacker, he said, Coach, hey, I'm game. So they put him in at outside linebacker, and he has wreaked absolute havoc from that spot. And so in the state championship game, came in for several sacks, competing with Alcoa defensive lineman Gray Carroll, who was a Mr. Football Mr. Football finalist for the Tornadoes for sacks in that game. You know, Gray said that, you know, Cam, part of the time, whenever he'd get in there thinking he was about to, you know, with his mouth basically drooling, getting ready for a sack, all of a sudden he gets there, Cam's already gotten it. So, you know, Cam Burden, quite a journey for him from Sevier County as a freshman quarterback and now to Alcoa as a junior, as a state championship MVP at outside linebacker. And what unselfishness from him to be able to be molded like that and coachable and just do whatever he has to do for the team. So Cam, big shout out to you for the win and for just kind of being a team player going into next year. But hey, guys, and he said next year he's ready to do it all over again in Blount County.
I'm telling you what, I've known Cam since he was little, and I even coached his dad, PJ, in Little League football. So I know that family, you know, they can't be prouder. PJ cannot be prouder than his son Cam. So hey, shout out from your high school sports.
Yes, sir.
Right here on the day that we end things for 2019. I wish Mr. Blevins could be here, but he had a prior engagement, couldn't be here. But you guys, excellent.
He's not tanning.
No, he's not tanning. He's Christmas partying.
I was going to say, he's going to be a little frozen if he's not trying to get a tan now.
But you guys did an excellent job in Cookeville, you know, and I can't be any prouder of you. You guys did a lot of tweeting, a lot of Facebook Live, a lot of things that happened down there that really shows where your high school sports is going in the future. You know, that motto is, we are your source for football in the Southeast. Kind of lived up to what its name was over the weekend. But what I wanted to tell you, we told you we were going to have a special announcement to end the season. I've been here for 7 years. Chris has been here for 7 years. Chris Blevins has been here for 7 years. You know, we started this thing as the Sevier County Sports Show. It's grew into something that I had a dream for. But what I'm going to do now, I'm stepping away so I can kind of be in the background, kind of keep us going in the right direction, because you have to keep up the source for this football in the Southeast. And Mr. Jake Nichols is going to be sitting here next year.
Sliding left.
He's sliding left. The two Chris's will be here, but Jake will be taking over the hosting duties next year, actually starting with our big signing day show that comes up in February. Jake will be here. You know, he's been an asset to your high school sports this year. Couldn't be any prouder. Does the magazine. His plate will be even fuller next year, I'm telling you. But like I told him, I will always be here. I will be behind the scenes.
Be like Chris Bourbon. You make a special.
I'll make a special thing when Jake says, "Hey, Roddy, you need to do this." You know, I'll step into Jake's corner. It'll be Roddy's corner next year. But you know, it's been great, guys. It really has. I think 2019 has been a special year. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr.
Congratulations, sir.
Than't you.
You can handle it, right?
I hope so. Yes,
you can handle it. You can handle it. I ain't worried about it. For Chris Blevins, for Chris Reddick, and your new host for 2020, Jake Nichols, I'm Roddy Woods, and we'll see you next year in February for our big signing show right here on Your High School Sports. Merry Christmas
and Happy New Year.